Are you hungry? I think Raphael's hungry. And there's a man out there, a very special man with a very special sandwich. And I think that man needs to give up that sandwich. He's been sitting around eating a sandwich for days. And someone has to put a stop to that, and I think... Whoops, what was that? I think that someone might be our Raphael. 3 T's? How idiomatic. Oh, the frit. Yes. Spelt with 3 T's for some reason. Ah, there he is.
Officer, care to play a game with the lonely old man?
The jolliness is gone from Gaston's face.
Actually, never mind. Wouldn't be the same.
Where is Renee?
The prick is gone. I can barely believe it. But he's really gone.
Gone? Gone where?
Hell, most likely. He was an absolute cunt.
I mean, I wasn't going to say it, but... How did he die exactly?
His hungry little heart finally gave out. The dock workers found him in the guard booth this morning. Wasn't even supposed to be working for another week, but he just had to prove how tough he is. Guess he was about to head home, 'cause when the dock workers found him, he was wearing civilian clothes and not the Kuketu uniform I saw him in all the time. Sometimes I thought he was wearing it just to piss me off. Now the joke's on him, 'cause he's gonna be buried without it.
Well, I mean... being able to keep going and going and then eventually dropping, I guess that's preferable to a gradual decline. Was he really that bad?
I repeat, an absolute cunt. Even his old army buddies didn't want him around. He was like an old viper. The only people who could stand to be around him were Jenny and me. She saw something in him when we were just kids and she never lost sight of it. And I thought if the most beautiful being in the world can love him, then there must be something worth holding on to.
Did you love him?
We've hated each other our entire lives. So much, in fact, that...
He falls silent and looks at you, eyes filling up with tears.
Yes, I loved that angry prick. He didn't deserve it, but I did. You know what his last words to me were?
I mean, probably something mean.
In Guillaume's time, you'd have been shot without trial. That's what he said to me. He lived a cunt, and he died a cunt. Let's leave it at that.
Here's something you remember your friends by. Oh yeah, we did take the photo from his little office.
Let me see. This was 60 years ago. We all went to that parade. Young René looked so happy, and Jenny...
Eyes blurry with tears. He has to stop.
I'm sorry, officer. I just... Thank you. Thank you for this little memorabilia. It really means the world to me.
That was nice. A small thing for us, but invaluable to him. He probably didn't even know René had the photo.
2 ways to conclude this. I mean, we might be blunt, but I don't think we're rude, so we'll offer our sincere condolences.
Yes, we are both very sorry for your loss.
It is what it is, part of life really. But to know someone for 79 years, then one day they're just gone. I just don't know anymore about anything really. But you You must need something.
Too bad Renee's gone. I was hoping to ask him about Maybells. Oh, like the flower that we got from the roof when we talked to Klaasje. I didn't know we could ask them about the flower.
René wasn't really what you'd call a botanist, officer. And believe me, he didn't like Insulindian lilies.
Of course he didn't. Flowers are for pansies. Stop wasting time with them.
Physical instrument, please. We're trying to gain information. Wait, Insulindian lilies?
That's their old name, dating back to the time of kings and crests, and all that other stuff he loved so much.
Why didn't he like them?
There were many reasons, but mostly it was the communals. They called them the Bells of Revolution.
A sad smile passes his face.
I guess in the end, the Insulindian lilies were just another piece of the whole Insulinde. The royalists had to surrender to the Mazovian insurgents. It doesn't really matter anymore.
I want to go over a few more things about Renee, if that's okay.
Yes? What about René?
Well, I guess we can't actually go over anything else.
Yes. We are both.
It is what it is. Part of life. I just don't know anymore. About anything, really. But you must need something.
Well, let's see if we can ask him about anything else concerning the Union.
Officer, I just can't do this right now. The Union, it just doesn't matter anymore.
Well, bye for now. I guess, now that Renee's gone, we can't demand the sandwich.
Oh, sorry, officer. What do you want?
Host almighty. He's a total bummer now.
Sure is Inland Empire. I guess not. Well, the sandwich is lost to us. Just like Renee is lost to Gaston. Let's see if there's anything we have that we can pawn.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with... Sure, let me have a look.
Now you could sell the armor?
Alright, let's see it.
Look at this awesome cuirass.
Oh, no, 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 no. I don't need bloodthirsty mercenaries knocking on my door looking for their missing toys. Besides, this gear costs a fortune. There's no one in Martinez with that kind of money.
It feels like he would have accepted the risk if he hoped to profit from it. It's not greed, though. Deep down, he's a gambler, provided the stakes are sufficiently interesting.
You sure you don't want to buy some armor?
More than sure. What else have you got?
This gear is too hot for Roy. I'd like to sell my clothes that I'm wearing.
Purchasing any more clothing at the moment?
I'll check my pockets.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
Let's see. Well, I guess I can sell the shot put ball. No one's playing the tank anymore. Oh, that's not what I wanted.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
Never found a purpose for the empty cassette case. I don't know if there is a purpose. There's production schedule. We use this. I don't know if there would be another reason to use it. This came in useful to find out where the bullet came from, so this might have played its part. Here's a... Oh, we know we can pawn a postcard. Banged up fuel canister. We don't... This has never come up, but who knows, it might. There's the dice. Don't know if it does anything else after unlocking white checks once, but we'll just hold on to that for right now. Here's another postcard. Here's the blue medicinal spirit. I've been informed that on the current run that I'm on, that there wouldn't be any use for this, so I guess we'll pawn the blue spirit.
Another time, perhaps.
All right, that's 43.58. Was there anything that we want? Here's the the lamp.
A streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps.
We've already looked at these options, and I guess if we could raise 700, we could buy it, but I have no idea what we would do with that.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty.
All right, well, interfacing is much higher than it was before. We're at 92%. Let's see if we can find something in here.
Why? What's this? A headless man riding a horse? A headless man wearing futuristic tracksuit trousers that say found.
The Headless Fawn Rider.
Indeed. I think I even have his cap somewhere down here. A tiny miniature fawn cap to go with it. Yours for 50 cents.
How would a headless man have a cap?
He doesn't elaborate on what that means. It's unlikely that he will. The lieutenant studies the figurine with amusement. Cool rider, right? I knew we'd find something worthwhile here. Buy it.
All right, sure.
Did I mention that this figurine is supposed to be lucky? Always carry it with you.
Huh, good luck, you say. Oh, there it is. Let's see. The plastic headless fallen rider sits atop his equally plastic bull, his posture indicating either desperation or pride. Comes as a set with the infamous fallen cap for which he lost his head. The head is not included. Well, I don't know if it's actually good luck, but we have it. And who knows, maybe someone will want it. Also, one thing I wanted to look at was this again.
If he really saved the economy, that sounds off.
Let's see, composure. Let's see, +1 composure. Let me just, not that. Just wanted to check for something. A jacket that gives you +1 composure. Our current jackets: empathy, hand-eye coordination, esprit de corps and shivers, logic, esprit de corps, drama, conceptualization, pain threshold and half-light, drama, electrochemistry, half-light, pain threshold, volition, esprit de corps, and the one we're currently wearing, suggestion. Okay. We don't have a jacket that gives us composure.
He'd let you pay with
Gotta prepare for springtime, right?
So this is something that could, if we have to pass a composure check, that is something that will give us a composure buff, and we don't actually have any other jackets that do that. So that's something to take with us. All right, someone suggested, no, that if I bring up the map with M, that maybe fast travel would work. Doesn't seem like it's working out that way, though. All right, well, we have some business on the other side of town. Oh, what's that? A cluster of polychromatic flyers blow by in the breeze.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
All right, so let's see.
Lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go
So
ahead.
that one's esprit de corps. Oh, conceptualization. This is actually quite high. Jamais vu thought complete, +2 Dolores Day.
Glad to have been of assistance.
I didn't realize it would be that high. Now, it was mentioned that I can pause this and that the debuff will not be going while it's paused.
You're back. Good. More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead.
It is at 97%. Okay. The same percentage that checking the Eternite was at. So, guaranteed loss, right? Here we go.
What is all of this? The scent, the sound, the air.
What world? The only one, I suppose. The world of matter. And its pale antipode.
The camera of her mind glides over the surface of the water.
What do you see?
Great bodies of water. Forest-covered surfaces. Clusters of light where the cities lie. You've seen the montage. We all have. This world is enough.
She concludes.
A frisson lifts the hair on the back of your arm. Wind sweeps the surface of the bay.
The wind is sweeping the waters.
The world is a suzerainty of Raphael.
There is a term of endearment they coined for it in the DeLorean century, when humanity was high on this world, discovering more and more of it, these archipelagos included.
What is it?
Elysium.
Elysium. The world needs a term of endearment.
It does. There are those who would call it hell.
What is hell?
A term of hatred that originates, like many such things, with the Mesk petro-fascists.
I don't feel like I've got the whole picture yet.
Oh, you want a picture of the world? There is no complete set yet, dear. They're having some trouble reaching orbit.
How come?
Great things are difficult to achieve. For now, we're viewing the world from the inside, sideways.
Inside sideways? What shape is this world then?
We used to think it was a sphere, but that is beginning to look less and less likely by the day. You wouldn't know it from the tabloids, but the ORG nations have been launching weather balloons into the lower ionosphere since the 30s.
ORG, Occident Revachol Grad.
There's a steadily increasing trickle of images. Between the big three scientific contributors, they're piecing together a dark grey corona.
A dark grey corona?
Yes. Pale covers 72% of the surface. There are grey flares and prominences, even arcs above entire isolas. The images are blurry, but if there was a sphere in there, it certainly looks like it fractured a long time ago.
A cold fear seeps into you.
Well, what the hell are you telling me?
You seem to be spooked. Please don't be.
Her voice becomes homely, calm. She lets a moment pass. The pale? And what do you mean, corona?
They say there is a rarefied envelope of matter surrounding the darkened disk of our planet. That is, if we are still living on a planet. Or, to speak more plainly, imagine vast swathes of land disrupted by nothingness.
Okay, so we are a disk. Is it, sitting on like a turtle or something?
I am sorry, dear. It must sound quite terrifying through the acute encephalopathy. Even scientific positivism isn't entirely convinced about what we're dealing with here. But this is one of the greatest questions of our time. Maybe when they get the complete set together, it will jolt us out of our rut, bring us together. however naive it may sound.
A fractured corona doesn't feel like it's going to bring anyone together.
You have misimagined it. I don't have the power to convey to you the effect and geometry of the images that depict our world from below low orbit. It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco. You'd love it.
I mean, we care about disco, but we also care about the commune. I don't want to have to choose between disco and the commune. Oh, that's... I can't betray disco.
See? Everyone finds something worth holding on to in this world, however wasted its opportunities.
The cold seeps into you. The air is heavy with 80% humidity. Suddenly, you're conscious of yourself standing there, on whatever this all is. Your arms hang down by your sides. The lieutenant observes you both, silently. He adjusts his glasses.
You said pale. What is pale? I understand there are medicinal uses for the pale. I have this book right here.
The pale is not, technically speaking, part of reality.
Yes. Also, I think we've had enough excitement for today. We do have a case to attend to.
Kim, we have many things to attend to.
His voice is low, but firm. All she can say is,
Of course, Lieutenant. Let's try something else.
But I don't want to. I want to know what the pale is. Kim?
I don't think your colleague would appreciate that. He has already been so patient with this whole exercise.
But the book says I can use the pail to restore my wrecked liver. I need to know how I can do that so I can drink without concerns.
Let's continue with something else, all right? You can ask about anything else in the world. Anything.
All right, so I guess we have another reason. We have something else to do after Kim goes to bed, aside from bribing Kuno with cigarettes.
this is not going to happen with the lieutenant present, unless you can convince him to step aside.
Wow, that's very high. +1 because Kim trusts us. All right, let's go for it.
Good idea. Just ask him. He won't make a scene.
Kim, can I talk to the ma'am alone for a second?
Fine.
He steps away with his notes.
See? What can he do? You're a grown man.
Now, what is the pail?
Are you sure you're sure? Your colleague seemed adamant.
Yes, what is the pail?
Okay. The pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, Detective. The separative tissue between the islas. It is the inter-islary mass.
Wait, and what is an isla?
Isla is a Messinian word for a continent of matter, enveloped on all sides by the pale. Also, isolation, or landmass. We used to believe there was only one. In the last 4 centuries, we have discovered 7. Mundi, Seol, Samara, Ilmara, Grad, Katla, and this, Insulinde.
And Insulinde is?
An oceanic isla. It comprises mostly of water. Muindi is the largest, Katla the coldest, Insulinde the bluest. What can I say? Each is perishing and dear.
Okay, what is the pale like?
Achromatic, odorless, featureless. The pale is the enemy of matter and life. It is not like any other, or anything in the world. It is the transition state of being into nothingness.
Is it here?
No, Detective. We're safe. It begins there, 6,000 kilometers to the north, and even more to the south, east, and west. You are in the middle of the isla.
As your gaze instinctively turns north, a small black pit opens up in your stomach.
6,000 kilometers from the end of the world?
Yes. That is enough. Many cities are built much closer.
And as we point north, there.
An uproar of matter, darling. Rising into the pale. Rolling. Evaporating even. A great vision. The area of transition between the world and the pale is called porch collapse. Imagine a grey coronal mist, cold vapor marked by spores of an opportunistic microorganism, a mold that's adapted to grow at the edge of the unrest. It's the most disco thing you will ever see.
You hear your pulse rise. The air feels caustic and cold suddenly.
What are its physical qualities?
It's difficult to describe, or even measure. Something whose fundamental property is the suspension of properties. Physical, epistemological, linguistic. The further into pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension, right down to the mathematical. Numbers stop working. No one has yet passed the number barrier. It may be impossible.
If we're surrounded by pale, how do you get from Isola to Isola?
Oh, it is so difficult for us.
A squall of birds. Hardware operating in the harbor. Firm. Self-evident.
It is possible to force dimensions on the pale. In modern times, we can even compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves from one end to the other, shortening the path. But it is still hard for humans to navigate the pale without getting lost. Or having our minds damaged.
The pale can damage the mind? I know something about mind damage.
Extensively.
How?
Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others argue that pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading, that it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over of the self. The pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history even. The human mind becomes over-radiated by past.
Who says and who argues?
Well, who says and who argues?
The logical positivists say, the dialectical materialists argue.
And what does this over-radiation feel like?
It feels terrible. Absolutely terrible. International standards strictly limit civilian travelers to 6 days of pale exposure per year.
You're not a civilian passenger?
No, Lieutenant Dubois. I'm entreprenetic business class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of pale transit annually.
Perhaps that explains her strange pining after the revolution. Some degraded early memories.
Do lorry drivers pass the pale?
Yes, carried in the hulls of airships. It's a horrific job. Automation will abolish it soon.
You should ask the pal driver about this. See what she says.
Yeah, we talked to her earlier on. She was having memories of different times and places.
That poor woman must have stories to tell, like you wouldn't imagine.
Are you over-radiated?
Up to my gills, officer.
An acidic smile on her lips. It's getting worse every year.
What is entreprenetic?
Entreprenetics is the scientific study of the pale, or a recent iteration of it by way of grad. The study of the pale reaches back 6,000 years. The Pericarnassians called it the Western Plain.
They had not traveled the entire circumference of the Pericarnassian super Isola. It was not merely in the west, it was everywhere, even then, surrounding them.
Did they cross it? The Western Plain?
There are signs of pre-modern crossings. Successful navigation of the pale relies not just on technical know-how, but intensive psychological preparation. Some of these tactics have been known for thousands of years.
What has entreprenetics changed then?
Nothing. We remain powerless before the pale. The only real advance in pale transit is the speed with which an aerostatic craft can pierce it. Less exposure leads to less effects later.
Aerostatic craft?
Hybrid airships, Detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines No longer add velocity after the point of reference for motion is suspended, once you've crossed from near pale to far pale. In essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end, if we throw them precisely.
And if we do not?
Then they don't.
How much pale is there compared to the world?
The pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more pale than there is matter, and the ratio is slipping.
Slipping how? To our detriment, or...?
What do you think, Detective?
It's growing. There's more and more of the pale.
Precisely. One of the few measurable effects of the pale is that it is expanding at an unknown rate. An intuitive conclusion of that development is that one day the pale will cover everything. But this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists.
Cover everything? Well, that can't be. Where would we go?
Most people, and indeed most private and government sector organizations, entire civilizations and religions even, find handy ways to ignore or downplay that knowledge.
What? I don't believe that the governments of the world would downplay a global cataclysm that everyone can predict is coming. That wouldn't happen.
I suggest you do the same.
I just don't think about it.
Off we go. You see the hanged man's mouth open.
Off we go into the wild pale yonder.
One and all. They say pale is death, but for the universe.
Why should we just leave, and the world get left behind?
Let's return to reality, please.
Yes, sweet reality. But before we do, tell me, Detective, is this the first time you're hearing this? Do you really not remember anything?
I sometimes sense vague shadows of the past, and it's not good.
Then tell me, what do you think of the pale?
Let's see, we could say that it's terrifying, or that it's disco. It will end all life. That we continue to persist at all is a testament to our faith in one another. The advance can only be stopped with immediate, total, ruthless communism. A powerful anti-communist force, perhaps too powerful, but still, they have it coming. I'm worried, I have to say. It doesn't sound very liberal to me. I don't know how you all survive with it. It's like a huge accomplishment. Who might think anything of it? Well, we do have a mission, don't we? And that is, this advance can only be stopped with immediate, total, ruthless communism.
Mm-hmm.
Her eyes tense, crow's feet radiate from them. She observes you, your bloodshot eyes and swollen face.
Your ailing constitution, sweaty forehead, the beads there, and your heavy breathing.
Thank you, endurance.
You really didn't know. This does not spell good for the investigation, Detective. If you don't know even this, then...
She stops mid-sentence. This investigation will be my masterpiece. The one they remember me by. I promise.
I hope so. I truly do. If I may suggest, hold on to your colleague, Kitsuragi. I ran a check on him and he is very competent. In the meanwhile...
Some of that assurance is meant for herself, as much as it's meant for you. She must have a lot on the line here.
You have me. I will assist you in any way I can, even if we have to do it one basic term at a time.
She gives you a slight bow.
Good. You have not passed out from it. Perhaps I worried for nothing. Are we still on the reality lowdown, or should we do actual police work now?
That was fucking insane, Kim!
Yes, well, the rest of us have dealt with it for thousands of years, so...
He looks around, a little uncomfortable now.
You will have to deal with it, too, the lieutenant thinks. This is why I didn't want you to know.
Right. Let's get to work, Lieutenant.
Good luck, detectives.
She nods you goodbye. Well, okay. We've heard about the Pale here and there, but now we've gotten some idea of what it is. They suggested we talk to the Pale driver. One thing I want to take a look at. Let's see. It didn't seem like we could ask her about anything in the church. Maybe that was something else entirely. The next thing on this was help Egghead with the beat. This may take a while. There was something else that we could ask, but Yeah, this is locked. Something close to us. We would have to
Ask me anything.
unlock this esprit de corps check to think of something close to us. I'm not really sure what this is referring to. Oops, not that.
Glad to have been of assistance.
And right, we wanted to put that back on. Let's go back to the church for a little bit. See if anything's going on there.
Hey, her Innocence Dolores Day liked little figurines, right? Liked holding little men between her fingers, remember?
I don't know that, but all right, sure.
You have the Headless Fallen Rider figurine. You should give it to her. Win her back.
What? Win who back? I can't win her back. She's a long dead historical figure.
Don't be so pessimistic. Love doesn't die that easily.
What are you talking about, reaction speed?
This isn't funny. You have a bad feeling about this one.
Well, I guess I should yes. This is a task now.
So very, very, very nifty. Nifty and mysterious. This is surely what the figurines are for.
Let's see. Dolores Day was fond of figurines. She deserves more. You should offer her any and all you have one day if you meet her in person? What? What an odd task to give yourself, but here we are. I mean, the closest thing we've seen to Dolores Day is, this window of her, which is broken.
Stands above you, a precious and complex.
Oh, right. This one was visual calculus.
Glass. A crack runs across the length of her body, her face oval and sad.
We would need to unlock a visual calculus check and then pass it to find out how this got broken. Looks like I can't give this figurine to her.
Why?
Because she's a stained glass window, reaction speed.
That does seem to be a problem. Maybe you meant something else?
Like what? Is the task still on?
I don't know. What are we thinking of? Part of your mind has gone on to other things.
Yeah, it's hard to focus on things, oddly.
Only a strange little sadness remains. The mother of humanism towers above you. A wax painting on a cracked pane of glass. Nothing has changed in her expression.
All right, maybe if we meet her in person someday. Maybe.
Good morning, comrade! Yeah! Harder, car!
All right, so interfacing is 5, +1 Andre's compression algorithm, +1 solved Erno van Eyck. I thought about the discarded melody and came to the conclusion that Van Eyck has lived around here.
J'adore! God is close by, but maybe he doesn't have good enough ears. Let me turn it up so we can lure him here.
Right, we had a conversation where we were thinking that he lived in Martinez. That was right, and we wanted to see if we could find him. This one's interfacing. I don't know if... Can we increase interfacing anymore? Interfacing's at +2. And the only thing that ever seemed to affect it was gloves, and we already have +2 interfacing on these gloves, so I don't think we can actually increase that anymore from clothes. Why is there nothing there for the hat? I mean, no, we're wearing the hat, but... And for the neck, we're wearing the tie. 8-eye Terratorn tie. Strange that there are no icons for that. Might as well see if anyone else has anything else to say here.
Yes, what is it?
Okay, there was a logic check here. Let's dress in our logic clothes the clothes that make us more logical and see if that might help us. What's the shirt doing right now? Rhetoric. Right, the hat. So that's +1 encyclopedia. Wasn't there? Oh no, the phone cap was +2 logic. That's right. Okay, got +5 logic. Logic's at 6 right now.
Yes, what is it?
That is still a lot. That's still a lot to go. Yeah, we're holding that. That's right. Let's. Oh, I still have minutes. Minutes left, so it's 3 minutes before I could use another one. Yeah. So this is with the cigarettes still on.
Yes, what is it?
All right. So let's see if the chat can buff the intellect, because we need all the help we can get to try to pass this one. We are dressed in our logic clothes. This is as smart as we can get. All right, 58%. Form a theory on the 2-millimeter hole in the world.
You don't.
Oh, wow.
You already have. A long time ago.
Wait. How?
These thoughts formed in you somewhere, in a long-forgotten discussion, behind a kitchen table, in the evening light, drinking coffee and smoking, with a friend. And a woman, she was there too. Her hair smelled of shampoo and she was smoking.
Suna, it is the origin point of the pale.
What?
The swallow. It's how it starts. It's baby pale.
But Pale isn't here. We're thousands of kilometers from the edge.
That comforts her.
No, we are 20 meters from the very edge.
She looks up into the darkness under the nave, then back at you.
The pale is only in effect a transition between the world and that.
Then what is that?
It's nothing. No, it's less than nothing.
It's less than nothing. The final rest state for reality. Imagine if all this never was.
Then the Pale is...
Simply a gradient.
But the gradient, it clearly hasn't started yet. We're here, and the Pale is not.
One day, when it's larger, it will be.
I understand. A theory of the Pale where instead of an outer ocean, it metastasizes, like a cancer or a mold, erupting in points inside the world.
This is one of those places.
According to this, how long?
Until it starts swallowing, it already started. Starting with sound.
And information, causing data losses in the East Insulindian front. Have you considered why it's formed in a church? And also when or how it might start growing, or if it has other effects, in addition to sound and data?
An intellectual hunger fills her now, casting fear aside.
I also have a question, since we are piling them on. How do you know this? I'm not doubting you. I'm simply curious as to how a detective of the RCM
knows how to think this.
See, it didn't form in a church. The church. I was thinking that the church was built around it. The failed business in the Doom commercial area. I had to stop before. It's how I know. One day all the world would be like that 2-millimeter hole. I've had this thought before. That's how I know.
An amateur anthropomedic police officer. I'd like to say I've heard stranger things, but I'm not sure. This is a hell of a guess, however. Well worded, I might add.
Yes, it is very interesting. But I wouldn't say you know. This is a guess. One that's going to have to be proved by anthroponetic scientists.
It didn't form in the church formed around it.
Of course! A pine wood sarcophagus, or a containment facility of some kind, built by the first settlers.
Yes, acting on an instinctual level, or religious practices we've forgotten.
I have considered the same. The bad news is, there were 7 pinewood churches built in the first decade of provincial settlement. Most of them were burnt down during the revolution, or repurposed before, during the suzerain. I'm not saying all of them have one in them, but...
Some of them might. A black grain hanging in the air.
All the failed businesses in the doomed commercial area. All the failure in Martinez.
You think the presence of that puncture has somehow influenced the outcome of events here? Even, say, software development?
She already made up her mind when she heard it. Some kind of great and uncaring force had to play a part. It wasn't only them.
Yes, even the revolution was defeated here. I mean, a kind of anthroponetic history.
I told the producers we need to go and move to a normal office building with amenities. But no, the artists like the milieu, the writers like the history. I told them.
I should let people still working in there know about this. They might be affected.
You mean Plaisance and the dice maker? There was almost no one left when we packed up.
No, just the dice maker. I don't think Plaisance would survive this knowledge.
Then go tell her.
She smiles broadly. One day, all the world will be like that 2-millimeter hole.
She falls silent. The wind blows in through the hole in the stained glass window, cold and moist.
I'm going to leave that out. But the rest? Some of this I can use to start to explain this to the rest of the team. Maybe I'll sound mad, but...
Man, you will certainly sound mad.
One more thing. Maybe a club for anodic music isn't the worst thing you can erect around this particular point in space.
This club is the only thing keeping this place and the rest of reality together.
I wouldn't go so far as to...
Yeah! Once the light is on in the universe, it will never go out!
That's right, Egghead.
Thank you, Egghead. Let's leave it at that, shall we? We have an anthroponetic detection to perform in this district.
I'll let you work in peace now. All right, well, let's see. Got a new task. Soon as research had led us to discover a 2-millimeter origin point of Pale in the DeLorean Church of Humanity down the coast. This might be negatively affecting the entire neighborhood, including the doomed commercial area where Dice Maker works. Tell her about it. Well, we're going to be seeing the Dice Maker again at around 19 o'clock. It was something like that, to pick up the dice, so we could tell her at that point. And this... what was this? Cleaning out the rooms... Temporary research bonus none. Research time 5 hours 35 minutes. Someone's been walking around in your dreams lately, looking for something, tidying up, rearranging, storing away all the unrealized dreams, putting old pains in boxes. The worst nightmares have settled down for a while. A spot of light on the bedroom door after the dark. The fluttering of eyelids in the spring sun. A thought that arises only to disappear again, and yet... there's a pattern emerging. I don't understand what this is saying. I have no idea what the result of internalizing this would be. Odd that there's no debuff for learning it, though. Does anyone else have anything new to say?
Oh, hey, man. It's good to see you.
3%.
Goodbye, officer.
So we don't have much to help with that. We did buy this windbreaker. And there's a let's see. Yeah, the green shoes. Oh wait, was that conceptualization? Oh, no, that was composure. That was composure. Okay, so composure now has a +2 from the clothes. So now it's at a 4.
Oh, hey, man. It's good to see you.
Yeah, that is that is barely increasing.
Goodbye, officer. Yo, man. What's on your mind?
3%. Harden up the ledger, caught the key, analyzed the beat. Pericarnassianism is love. So let's see. I mean, we could try pausing this again. And then we could dress up for conceptualization. Maybe it would make things too easy, but I think they should let you organize this by wardrobe. Like, you can put together suits for specific skill sets. Maybe they want it to be a little bit more of a pain to do it every time. Maybe. Okay, so let's see. That puts conceptualization at 4.
Yo, man. What's on your mind?
42%. It's not impossible. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Take another one of these.
Yo, man. What's on your mind?
58%. And we could go for to see if the chat wants to buff intellect again to get this conceptualization up so we can internalize the hardcore aesthetic. I don't know what that means, but we need to really feel the hardcore. Can we, chat? Can we feel the hardcore deep inside? Is it possible? Oh, we're at 58%. No, 72. Okay, 72%. Let's see if we are really hardcore deep inside. We are. Dedicated, hyperactive, unified. You will have to add something of your own to understand this list of loosely formed qualities called hardcore. You need your own entry. Make it.
Test your limits. Surpass them. Dance till you drop. Dance till you die, if you must.
Let's see. Hard people, hard republic, hard cell, hard party, hard riot, hard government, core membership, core secretary, core teachings, core fighters. I'm going to truly wreck myself as a machine of modern party in a final showdown between flesh and spirit. I am the law. I want to have fuck with you. You know, it feels unfair. There's a party everywhere. I don't seem to have anything to add to the core. Well, maybe let's ask the chat about that one. We could put that to a poll. Which one do we think is hardcore? Which one embodies hardcore? Well, it seems like the chat feels that having fuck with Noid is hardcore. I guess I'm not going to argue with that. Let's do it.
Say that again?
I want to have fuck with you.
You know it, baby.
We gained a thought. Let's talk some more about this place.
Dead body, spirit entered. What is there to talk of?
Let's talk about the glasswork again. I've been thinking about her. I want to have fuck with her. Maybe? Unsure exactly who I want to have fuck with. Someone, I guess.
The mass murderer? Why?
Well, I'm not really a fan of resettlement programs, so...
Okay.
Talk about something else, Noid.
Sure.
Take care. Oh, what's this?
Why does art inspire you so much?
It does, yes, but what is art?
Excellent question. Art is a diverse range of visual, literary, auditory, and performative creativity. It's an expression of imagination and technical skill. Additionally, it's history, criticism, and pure enjoyment. In short, art is the highest form of human communication, representation, narrative, emotion, and agency intertwined.
Would I fit into the art world? I mean...
Mirror lately, you have the exact features of a savage art critic, with that beard and those clothes, disheveled and prophetic. Perhaps you should try to critique architecture too.
Is architecture also art?
Of course not. It's autism, box drawing, masturbation with a ruler and a sextant or whatever they use. You should demean and criticize the genteel institution of architecture while extolling the virtues of the pure arts.
Well, there's no need to get nasty about your feelings about architecture conceptualization. I mean, I know it's merely drafting. What about music? Is it art?
Only the most experimental kind.
I guess I have been feeling critical lately.
Yes, you seek substance. No vapid representations and reproductions of social mores as made manifest in stuffy biennials. We're talking real, living art here. Become the art cop. Half art critic, half cop.
But don't I have to be 100% cop to get the case finished and all that?
Quit being so indecisive. What are you going for here? Some kind of indecisive and camp aesthetic now? Strike a bold shape here. Go art or go home.
All right, if 50% art critic is what's needed to free me from rote repetition, so be it.
Exactly. It's not only your duty to only catch the criminals off the street, you must also apprehend criminals of the printing press and the gallery, the trite and derivative artists and writers of the world.
I never considered ourselves to be an art cop.
Go ahead and provide savage criticisms, art cop. The world is yours to rip to pieces and reassemble.
I mean, conceptualization has been very low for most of the game. Like, we get some points into it, and look how bossy it's getting. It's really full of itself. All right, we got two things here. Actual art degree. Let's see, -1 perception. Can't even look at this shit. Research time, 1 hour, 30 minutes. Yeah, it's another capo type. The worst one. The most savage and brutal. The art cop. Nothing is good enough for him. Everything is shit. You have to employ an armada of adjectives to depict and demean the mediocrity of the works and visual institutions around you. Really flex that critical muscle until the vocabulary for punishing mediocrity becomes second nature. Here we go. Yeah, I guess that is kind of the only thing you can really do with an actual art degree. It gives you license to criticize. Okay, what's hardcore aesthetic? Temporary research bonus, -2 interfacing. Fuck grammar. Research time, 1 hour, 50 minutes. Not only have you internalized the hardcore aesthetic, you've also contributed to it. How harder core could you possibly become? Low core people come around you to correct your typos. It's hardcore here, hardcore there, hard or core in a third instant. What's going on? Those aren't typos, man. That's how core hardness works. If you don't know hardcore from our happy hardcore, what the fuck are we even talking about? Well, we are currently internalizing Detective Costeau. Let me see something. I don't know if we have to internalize hardcore to help with this, because this one is make the jam harder core. So I don't know if the thought has anything to do with this, or if we don't have to do that to complete this quest. I don't know, is the thing. Man, I'm not entirely sure what these two new thoughts would do if we internalize them. It's a bit unclear.
Welcome back.
Reaction speed is very low. Do we have anything? Do we have any clothes that can help with reaction speed? That one's negative reaction speed. The hat. That's the only thing we have.
Welcome back.
Yeah, that is... Whoops, not that. Yeah, we really need something more for reaction speed if we want to try to do that. Well, I think we've talked to everyone in here now. Let's put our encyclopedia clothes back on so we can continue to make money and exp for us. Right, encyclopedia +3. Total 7 currently. And Detective Costeau, remaining 1 hour 55 minutes. So still some stuff to do in the church, but we have figured out some stuff here. And at least we unlocked the task to talk to the dice maker to warn her about the pail, or rather the swallow, when we go to pick up our dice. Also, while we're here, we might as well make another phone call.
You pick up the handset. There's a tone. The machine is operable. Calling.
I'm tired.
A man answers, fast this time. His voice is hoarse from cigarettes. You hear typing in the background.
Sounds like he hasn't talked to anyone in quite a while.
I'm tired too.
If I could go just 1 month without writing, no, 2 months, I could regenerate my brain. Fucking liberalism.
The man disappears with a sigh. You do not hear the customary disconnect tone, just silence in the handset. The machine is still waiting for you to dial a number. Lucky you, the call went too fast for the payphone to register. You can still make a new one without paying.
Is that how it works? This is very high. +1 white morning, +1 smells like betrayal, +1 sorry cop. Alright, dial a random number with our eyes closed.
You close your eyes and put your index finger on the rotary dial, then pull down on the number, then move one up, and repeat the motion, twice. Strange. This is not how you started before.
Wait, what did I just do?
You dialed 001. This is not the area code of Raphael. It is another destination on another Isola. Some far-off nation-state.
That's interesting. Can we call other Isolas? We can make phone calls through the pale?
005 is Raphael, ZOC. 001 is Grad, on the Grad Isola, where the telephone was invented. The next 2 digits you dial are the area code for the city of Mirova. 414447. The rotary dial feels cold from the sea air. 1117361. Your fingers keep moving like a spider every time the ring rotates back with a little ring of metal, like a bell tolling.
There's more?
Yes. 451-67451. You are going deeper now, into some unknown place, far away from this island of matter and its telecommunication networks.
Finish it.
451. You have dialed God knows how many numbers. The headset has been waiting silently to relay a signal. Surely nothing can come of this, you think. But it does. A connection. An ultra-long distance call. Your air fills with a crackle, the wash of a strange ocean full of white noise. A little bird starts ringing in there, not like the local calling tone before. No, a small ring in a cage of distortion, far away. A distant network of phones, calling in the night. The saddest sound in the world. Both pitiful and terrifying. You feel your pulse rising with each ring. Calling still. Ringing by the bedside of a dark but capacious apartment with long windows. You know this to be true. The handset starts slipping from your sweaty palm. Your breathing is heavy.
That is impossible. Long windows. How do I know that?
You just do. And you know it is going to hurt.
Kim.
The lieutenant is too far away to hear your yelp. The sea wind blows.
All right, let's see.
You can't. Some strange force is keeping the headset glued to your hand. Your ear listening to the ring in the speaker. Calling, 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 calling still. Then the ocean breaks. Out of the depths, a woman's voice emerges. Small. The dearest thing you've ever heard.
Hello?
Well, we can say hello. We can say that I want to die. Who is this? I'm a revolutionary servant of humanity. I will free mankind and abolish the classes. I will raise the dead. Your voice is so beautiful. Goodbye. Your voice is so beautiful.
No. It's you, isn't it?
Who is this?
Dora. Who is this? The connection is bad.
Dora. The name feels like a gift. A gift that was meant for you. To make it possible to live. And fight. In the distorted distance, you hear someone turning next to her. Bed springs rattle. Don't react. Whatever you do, don't react to that last thing.
All right, we'll take Volition's advice. It doesn't matter if we react or not. We still think we hear a man's voice in the background. It's covered in pain and white noise. Hello? She hums, her voice warm from sleep.
Who is this?
I'm a revolutionary servant of humanity. I will free mankind and abolish the classes. I will raise the dead.
You're not a revolutionary, Harry. You're drunk.
I'm not drunk right now.
Oh, God.
There's silence. It's heavy as tin. The white noise howls. Hey.
Do you know what time it is? It's so late here.
Sounds like she's looking for a clock on the nightstand.
It's 4 o'clock, Harry. I need to wake up in 2 hours.
I want to talk about me. Who am I? You sound like you know me.
What do you want to talk about that we haven't talked about already?
This is bad. You feel your right hand on the handset cramping up with pain.
You're in Morova, right?
Yes, I'm in Morova. Sleeping.
My heart hurts. I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Oh no. Please stop. Please, let's just hang up.
Where are you going in 2 hours?
To work.
Where?
The academy, where I work.
The academy? That sounds better than my job. I'm happy.
No response, only a sigh. The connection crackles like burning paper. What are you doing to yourself right now?
Catastrophic damage.
You need to stop, Harry. You'll die.
All right.
Your hand isn't moving. The headset hisses in your ear with evil sadness.
I guess we can't stop. I'm the law. I'm a detective. I'm doing a case. There's a hanged man.
She does not answer anymore.
I'm gonna solve it.
Harry.
Disconnect tone. The machine ran out of money. Run to the church, home, anywhere but here. Anything but calling her again.
Maybe we should leave. We can't really just, that's a lot of damage we took in that phone call. A lot of both physical and emotional damage. I mean, like Kim says, maybe we should think less about our personal issues, and maybe we should think more about work. Think more about the case. Oh, what's that? That's a Nolan Vink Sync, an unsuccessful model. And as far as the case goes, I mean, well, as far as our current business goes, maybe there's something that we could do right now. We do have a forgery to do. We just won't think about that phone call we just made. We'll just put it out of our head, and we'll think of Everard Clare. Using a thermodynamic expander condenser cycle? Nice. Alright, so... it might have been an interfacing check. Let's see, let's take a look at it. The letter.
You take the legal document.
It was interfacing, yeah. Alright, so I'm wearing the gloves, which I think is the only thing that actually helps with interfacing. That's +2. Motoric space +2. The gauntlets are +2. And I'm pretty, just, you know, I need to make sure every time that we don't have any other clothes that affect it. I think the only other thing that we do are the other gloves that we have, which is only a +1 for interfacing. Yeah, the gardening gloves. Yeah, so we got everything there. Do we have any speed left? We have quite a bit of speed left, it seems. Oops, not that. Got cigarettes in one hand and speed in the other. All right. Like that little face slap we do. Let's have a look again.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope. A 12 to 40 month construction period and the zoning plan in the addendum. Underneath all this, Lillian's signature and an empty line waiting for a signee. All
right, let's see if we can increase those motorics stat a little bit more, just a little bit. We need some more motorics. We got into our house away from prying eyes. We did some speed. We're ready to forge a signature on this thing. I mean, I would not think that taking the speed would help us with our writing hand, but look, I'm not a detective, it's clearly. Okay, well, I guess we went the other way on that, and we're at 58% on this interfacing check. So I guess our chances went down. So let's see what happens.
The pen is shaking in your hand as you draw a pathetic little line.
We're in it now. Keep drawing.
The line gets even shakier and starts to curve towards the bottom of the page.
Have I ruined the document?
No, it's just a line. Forgery obviously isn't your strong suit. Sorry for suggesting it. If you get someone to actually sign this, it should be fine.
Very well. I guess we'll see if we can find someone to sign this. We're just not up to the task ourselves. So we got one of the people to sign. The other person who has to sign is specifically the old woman. I guess if anyone else signs it, it doesn't count. I wonder if Kuno would like to sign it. I mean, there are other people around here that we could, look into before resorting to Kuno for doing a forgery for us. Yeah, there they are.
Tequila Sunset.
Could you and your pals sign this document?
What's it about? I'll let my hand address the situation. Maybe you've heard. I used to be a very successful businessman. I've signed more than a few lease forms or whatever the fuck they were. Anyone's got a pen? The pro's gonna do it.
I have my green nip pen right here. It's coming very useful throughout the game.
All right.
He grabs the pen and paper from your hands and very carefully scribbles on the dotted line next to Lillian Carter, Idiot Doom Spiral. Can I, have the pen back?
Don't know if I've mentioned it, but I used to be a businessman. And as a businessman, I am going to keep the pen. For my trouble.
Is that how business works? Oh no. I like the pen.
No, that was my favorite thing of all the things you have. This had better be worth losing the pen for.
Interfacing is crushed.
My favorite was the gun he lost.
Yeah, we never found that gun. You've done a great service to the community, to the RCM, and to Raphael.
Hey guys, I'm a hero.
He hands you the envelope and waves his hand erratically at his companions.
Hell yes!
The red-nosed drunk brings his hand up to his head for a salute.
The incapacitated drunk lay there snoring like an ancient, rusting tractor.
Thank you for your help. Should we go and mail this? I think I saw a mailbox on the plaza.
Mailbox, plaza, got it. Bye. All right. We're helping out Mr. Everard with his little business needs to be done. We did a good job. We did a very good job, I think. We needed 2 signatures from the villagers, and we got them. We got the 2. No one could be dissatisfied with the job we just did. I just hope we don't need to write anything else for the rest of the game since we lost our green ape pen. Let's see, where was that? There it is.
The dented yellow mailbox greets you with its graffito and bullet holes in the front.
Down we go.
Drop the white envelope in the darkness. It lands with a soft thud on what sounds like a couple of letters. About a week's worth of mail as collected in there. They'll empty this very soon.
All right, let's go back to Everard. If we don't mention anything to him, he won't know before it's too late.
All right. I guess that's what we're doing right now. Got to talk to Mr. Clare and let him know we did a good job. We're practically union members ourselves now. You know, we've been doing a whole bunch of stuff this session. So much stuff that I forgot about the most important thing of all. And that was playing Suzerainty with Kim. Well, that's fine. We still have the game. We could try it at any time. It's just that, you know, our suggestion needs to be pretty good to make it happen. But hey, at least we got some stuff done. Now, let's go talk to Mr. Clare.
Yes, of course. Now we're on the right track.
All right.
It smells like... We're getting crates and pallets calling to mind. Vast stands of winter pines. A swirl of ancient odors absorbed by heavy carpet fibers. But also a pervasive, treacly sweetness that somehow reminds you of cola nuts. The whole place could probably use a good deep cleaning, you think?
It probably has not been cleaned out in a long time. Lieutenant gives you a sharp sideways look. Meanwhile, Everard Clare clatters away on his typewriter, willfully indifferent to your presence. Oh, that was just like a little thing there. They just want, our senses wanted us to know how much this place stinks. What's that? That's not a fishing rod, is it? It's... this? I'm not sure.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you've already sat on that chair.
I'm looking for a cell of underground communists. Can you help me?
Mr. Dubois, really? Do I look like a man who has time for underground communists? I'm as above ground as it gets.
Oh, well, I'll take the above ground communists, too. He's got you there. You've got to be 10 or 12 meters up at least. Thank you, logic. Thank you. That's all you're going to get out of him, it appears.
Now, was there anything else you wish to discuss today?
Yes, I mailed the signatures you asked me to mail.
The Golden Boy returns once more. Wonderful. Simply wonderful, Harry. Of course. I already knew this.
Of course you did.
My friend, the mailman, confirms the letter is on its way. You've done a great thing today. You've given the children of Martinez a future and proven to be a true man of the left. I can finally trust you now.
Wow, we've gained Everard's trust. What does this mean?
You're in my inner circle. You too, Mr. Kitsuragi. We can talk about anything. The strike, the murder, your lost gun, nothing is off the table.
The gun? Can I get my gun?
Harry, I've got to be honest with you. Your gun was found 2 days ago. Withholding this information weighed heavily on me, but it had to be done.
I feel so betrayed. I thought we were friends with Everard, and he was using this against me. Where is it?
An old woman has it, and let me tell you, Harry, word on the street is she's a character, so watch out.
Got anything else?
This must be the woman who bought the gun from Roy. The one he described as terrifying.
So the gun's still with the woman who bought it from Roy.
Yes, the same one. I see you've done your research. The pawn shop made the gun easy to track. Crazy stuff, Harry. Selling your gun like that? Wild. Anyway, the neighbors of this old woman contacted my men because they trust me and the Debardeurs Union. Apparently, she was waving it around at the entrance to her building.
Waving the gun around doesn't sound good. None of this does.
Yeah, I'm the only one who's supposed to wave my gun around irresponsibly. She was waving it around at people?
As I said, she's a character. I didn't have time for details. It sounds like she's unstable, but don't worry. No one got hurt.
We might be looking at someone with a medical history here. Watch out. Unstable is good, actually. She will be easier to disarm. No, wait. Actually, unstable is pretty bad.
Yeah, physically unstable is good. Mentally unstable is bad. Who is this old woman?
Unfortunately, I don't know anymore. You're gonna have to go in blind, Harry. But she's an old lady. How dangerous can she possibly be? Oh, and she calls herself the Pigs.
Well, I mean, how dangerous could she be? Depends on if that gun is loaded, I suppose.
There it is again. The Pigs. Like Roy said, not good at all.
I, for one, find it refreshing. Finally, someone calls themselves a pig.
As opposed to us. A smile flickers in the corner of his mouth.
It actually sounds extremely bad, but let's not give him the satisfaction.
Can you set up a meeting?
I already have. Tonight, starting 10 o'clock, near the old fish market on the coast. The one on the boardwalk, a little past the fishing village. Be careful, Harry. I would never set you up for anything dangerous, but you did ask for this. Now, back to the fun stuff.
All right, well, tonight, maybe we can get our gun back. Finally.
She will be there from 2200 hours till 0200 hours.
More fun stuff. Seems like we already have fun stuff to do.
We do have quite a few things. Like play suzerainty, right, Kim? Right? Did you order the hanged man killed?
Order it? You know my men didn't kill him. They told you. It was a happy accident. You know how it is. No one takes the initiative. If I wanted him dead, I would have had to do it myself. And I'm too fat for that.
What do you gain from him being dead?
Why, a war, of course.
And what do you have to gain from a war?
Victory, Mr. Kitsuragi. I have victory to gain. We are going to start a war with the Wild Pines group and win before they even realize there is a war.
But they're trained military people. Aren't you afraid for your men?
Harry, we outnumber them 1,500 to 1. And that's just Martinez. With all the unions in Revachol, and with public opinion on our side, we can hold off 2 men, or 15 men, or even 50 men. The more they send, the worse it's going to look for them. They made a huge mistake hiring those guys. No one likes foreign mercenaries. The leftists hate them, the fascists hate them, even the moralists think they're in bad taste.
How is this connected to the strike?
Harry, there is no strike, only war. Class war. Or, in business terms, a dawn raid. Or wait. Is that when you still pay them something? Because we won't do that. We're not going to give nothing. We're going to take Terminal B away from them. The roads, the gates, the containers, that big crane, even the damn coffee maker. We're going to take all of it for the people, and fuck Wild Pines.
Yeah, we got that impression earlier in the game when we saw that one guy. Forget his name now, but it's the guy outside this container who was talking about painting the Wild Pines containers with Union colors, and it just sounded like that the Union was stealing the containers. So, yeah, the strike is not a strike. It's they're going to go into business for themselves.
The word fuck rings like a gunshot from his mouth. He doesn't swear often.
So that's why you haven't let Joyce in?
Yes. It's also why I let that midget Gaumont go. He's too nice. I can't put him through this. Plus, he knows how to get in here. That woman can't tell her tits from her asshole. She has no chance.
Oh, so you did call him a midget. You said you would never call someone that. What?
Tits from her asshole. It's a local saying.
This is the first I've heard of it. Why are you telling me your plans?
Because we're friends, Harry. Besides, it doesn't matter now. You can go tell her if you want. It won't change the course of events. We have a significant head start. It's already happening.
Who killed the hanged man?
No idea. Could have been his own mother for all I know. If you ever find the guy, give him a big fat kiss from Everard Clare. Couldn't have done it without him.
A guy, huh?
How do you know it's a guy?
I don't. I told you it could have been his own mother. I'm pretty sure it wasn't anyone from the Union. Maybe it was the mob. Or maybe he killed himself because he was a closet socialist. Truth is, I simply don't know.
How many of you guys are there in the Union?
2,372. Plus yours truly, of course.
And they're all well motivated. At least the ones you've seen.
How are you going to fund your new independent harbor?
Oh, you mean what sort of goods are going to be flowing through? How am I going to replace all the contacts we'll lose once the poo-poo hits the fan? The clients will ditch us. Harry, we've thought of everything.
Everything?
We've been running back channel negotiations with all the major clients. I think the company will be unpleasantly surprised to see how many of them stay loyal to Martinez and to the new competitive contracts we can offer. With renewed zeal sparked by communal ownership, the men will be shipping those containers double time. You'll be surprised to see how fast things go without parasites latching on. We'll have our hands free to pursue bold, exotic new revenue streams.
That's drugs.
Drug trafficking.
Drug trafficking? Don't be stupid, Mr. Kitsuragi. There are perfectly legal, 100% ethical chemical factories on the Samaran Isola. You don't need to be colonialist about it. All they do is produce components to keep the pharmaceutical industry running. That's people's health we're talking about. Old grannies, little babes, people with disabilities.
Well, I mean, if you put it that way, I wouldn't dream of taking old Graham's painkillers away from her.
Wow, a neurochemical. Psychoactive labor uprising stroke hostile takeover.
Electrochemistry is impressed. That's just the top of the iceberg, though, isn't it?
The company thinks transporting these chemicals in bulk looks bad, has bad optics, may be illegal in some countries. The Debarders Union, however, we're all about the large volume column.
In bulk shipping, large volume column is a major buyer, a shark.
We're gonna transport the living daylights out of those materials, Harry. So your sick kid can get his Benefed and your wacky uncle doesn't have to come off risperidone.
Benefed is a children's cold medicine, usually apricot flavored, and risperidone is used to treat severe psychosis.
And the kids on the street can get speed and pyrrolidone.
I'm an old-fashioned guy, Mr. Kitsuragi. I sometimes grab a beer with the boys, but I have no idea about the things you just mentioned.
Yeah, what is this speed? I mean, I might have heard the term before, but certainly not any part of our business.
But if I were to supply ingredients for some sort of rainbow party, I would make sure the Union took a fantastic share. And I'd keep that stuff far away from Martinez.
He's basically admitting to it.
Is Ruby helping you to secure this fantastic share?
Harry, if I was supplying raw materials to drug manufacturers, I would need an army of rubies.
Understood.
I have to admit, it is a well put together plan, and far removed from you.
It's also far removed from my men and the people of Martinez who've put their trust in me. Anyway, let's not focus on the sensationalism of the drug trade. This hypothetical drug trade is all anyone ever seems to be interested in. It would only be a small part of the harbour's turnover, just like the harbour is, but a small part of Martinez.
Go on.
Let's look at the big picture. Martinez as a whole. There are little girls out there with dreams of making music. Young mothers who want to start businesses. Models who want to walk catwalks and steel welders who want to weld steel. I'm going to unite them all into one economic body. We're going to incorporate this place to Kingdom Come. Everyone's going to be in on the wealth, and everyone's going to pull their weight.
Well, it's very ambitious. I do like what you're doing for the working man.
Thank you, Harry. Thank you. You have no idea how much it means to me, because in many ways, you are that working man. You have already done so much work.
Well, I mean, I guess he's telling us about his big picture plans, and, well, I mean, we're not down with the drugs, it seems, but the rest of it, the way he says it, it sounds all right. But does he have any ulterior motives? Can I ask you about specific Union members?
We're way past specific Union members now. This is the big time. We're talking about the future of Revachol here, Harry. You can bother Leonard with that. He loves to run his mouth on such matters. But I'm in big-time mode, Harry.
There's something different about him now. He's more vibrant, more alive in his big-time mode.
The signatures I got, I know you plan to force them out with the construction noise.
Harry, by now you should know I would never do anything tricky like that. However, if the construction noise and limited street access makes some people consider moving, well, let's just say there'll be freshly renovated buildings near the roundabout where those poor people can finally enjoy a significant uptick in quality of life. I'm talking real affordable workers' palaces.
He proudly spreads his hands to demonstrate the size of the palaces. They're very large.
Yes. Very large indeed.
So the village is doomed.
Lieutenant says grimly.
You were there. You saw the place. A wasteland. There's nothing left. But mark my words, officers. We are going to reset it. Reset. I have big plans for Martinez, and they do not include humans living in those pig sheds on the coast. That land will be used for municipal buildings and commerce.
What do you mean?
Harry, imagine a youth centre supermarket church complex, employing hundreds, no, thousands of people. The coast will be lit up with enterprise and life. All those ruins out there turned into low-income housing.
Youth Center Supermarket Church Complex. That's an interesting combo. I mean, maybe it would be beneficial to let him know about the hole in reality in the location he wants to build on, but I mean, I guess he'll find out about it.
Harry, enough is enough. We're taking this district back. The war was 50 years ago, for God's sake. It's time to move on.
Yeah, speaking of that, isn't there artillery aimed at Revachol in case the revolution came back? Like, there's been a couple of mentions of that. I guess we can't ask him what he intends to do about the big guns pointed at us. Youth Supermarket Church Complex? Do you really expect me to believe that?
Yes, I do. I got the centre, I got room for a retail complex, and in 4 years, I'll get the church too. The wheels are already turning, Harry. The wheels of progress. This post-war limbo, I won't stand for it. There are kids practically playing with their own feces out there. It cannot go on.
Well, I mean, there's Kuno, but not all the kids are like him.
There is true indignation in his voice when he speaks about the state of things, and even a touch of pain. The pain is true. He's seen kids do worse than that.
Well, I knew you were up to something.
Damn right I'm up to something, Harry. I'm gonna make the working man as rich as Joyce Messier. That's my job. Just like yours is to keep the peace.
A true flash of anger in him as he thinks of her.
Well, I guess that's it for now.
Great, Harry, great. I think we have truly built a bridge between Martinez and Jamrock today. We have united the RCM and the Debarders Union.
Suddenly there's sadness in his tone.
This has been so great. I'm sorry we don't have more fun things to do together, but if you ever feel like bouncing something off me, my door is always open.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to leave now. Alright, so he just opened up completely to us, telling us what he's doing, and doesn't feel like there's an issue with us knowing about that. But he has also set up an appointment with us, so if we can get our gun back from apparently an old woman who bought it. I guess we're going to meet her tonight. For right now, we're going to save our game. So, we now know what the real meaning of the strike is, and why Everard is A-okay with this murder, though he insists that he had nothing to do with the murder actually happening. We know why that he's not actually negotiating with Wild Pines. We know the reason for that now, because the entire plot was never to negotiate. The entire plot was to take Wild Pines equipment and containers and all that and start their own business as a competitor with Wild Pines, but it's not going to be that corrupt corporate setup. It's going to be a communal setup. Everyone will benefit from the profits of the company. Well, we'll see how that works out. And Everett wants to use those profits to rebuild Martinez and make it a gleaming metropolis, apparently. Until, of course, it gets blown up with big guns, which we did not get to ask him about. So, I guess that's going to end our session for tonight. And, so we got an appointment to go get our gun. We have an appointment to go pick up our dice, to tell the dice maker about the hole in reality, to, let's just remind ourselves. Right, confront the pigs at the fish market, talk to the dice maker. If we ever meet Dolores Day, give her figures? What does that mean? Pick up the dice, tonight we have to give Kuno cigarettes, and after we do that, then I think we can ask him about the empty traps and solve the case of the phasmid, because the phasmid case is very important. That's like a big thing I'm concerned about. We have not been able to make progress on that because we need to talk to Kuno about it. Look for Ruby on the coast after we're done with the rest of this. I don't know how we're going to find out about this Ideologo, because Everard didn't seem to know any, or didn't want to tell us anything about it. Not sure what we're going to do about making the Vanek jam harder core. Look at the locations for the shots, which we still have not done. Right, after Kim goes to bed, talk to Klasya. And that's a bunch of stuff that we still have to do. So, as we continue on with Disco Elysium in day 5, maybe we'll try to play a board game with Kim. Pump up that suggestion stat and see if we can play. Because we do have some time before we can pick up our dice at the dice maker. Maybe we'll be trying that next time on Disco Elysium.